What's up, guys? So I'm back again. Just got back from vacation. A little bit behind, falling behind the pack. So still only 28, not the big badass that I was before. That's all right though. Today though, I wanted to go over a few things regarding gear, loadouts, attributes slash stats, I guess, and kind of clear the air. For some people, I've had a couple questions in the comments on some of my previous videos. So I thought these were things that would be good to cover. Um, First off, let's just take a look at the gear weight system. It's really interesting. Well, it's got two breakpoints here, but it's got like three zones: light, medium, and heavy. And what those three zones do, they each kind of give you their own unique buff. Light gives you 20% damage bonus. Medium is going to give you 10% longer debuffs on your crowd control, and then 10% more damage, of course. And then the heavy category is going to give you 15% more stability on your blocks, so just able to take a few more hits, and then it gives you 20% longer debuffs on your crowd control. So great for CC, things like that. But obviously they each have their own benefits and strengths, right? And then of course each of those tiers is going to give you a different kind of dodge or just like your shift evade, right? Light is going to give you a full dodge roll. It's a lot further. Medium will give you a little short like dodge hop, and then heavy gives you this real weird like bend over sidestep, right? That seems to be pretty detrimental in PvP. If your team's dipping out because like you're losing, you're probably gonna get left in the dust unless you have like a great axe or a hatchet, can speed away. But yeah, just take those things into consideration. Be aware of that when you're doing your build. So and another thing, in doing that, in paying attention to that, what I've done, even though I haven't broken into the heavy category, I'm still wearing 4 pieces of heavy gear, and then I just throw in a medium glove to stay below the 30 breakpoint. That of course gives me the I want to be in that medium range. That's my goal, just for the benefits and the quick hop. But at the same time, I want as much armor as I can get because I am a melee. I want to be able to take more hits. And melee are really strong in PvP right now. So like, even it's difficult. From my experience, it's more difficult for ranged to stay away from a melee than it is for a melee to get to a ranged. So for people that are, they are going those ranged builds, they want the more evasive dodge roll. They're gonna, fall into the light category, of course, but they can still stack leather gear. You could even maybe mix match it, maybe a heavy helmet, 2 leather pieces, 2 light pieces. But the idea, you want to stay below that 15 break point to gain the buff, of course. So just a cool way to kind of set up the gear system. I really think it's cool. I like it. It's something different than what I've seen in other games. But yeah, just be aware of that when you're building, when you're out in the world, and you just want to throw on that, that heavy piece that's got, intellect. You may not want to because you're gonna lose certain buffs, right? So, but that's interesting. One other thing to be aware of when you're, paying attention to this weight system is that the shield will give you extra weight. All right, it weighs a bit more, but because of the way the shield works, it only works with the long sword or the sword, right? Just the sword. And the only time that you will get any benefit from statistics or things like that from the shield is when it is in your hands with the sword like out, right? So as soon as you throw it back on your back and you pull out your secondary, you're not going to gain the stats. I wouldn't be gaining the 5 strength and this keenly empowered. I wouldn't be gaining that benefit while the shield is on my back. Just so people are aware. I've seen a couple people that'll have like a spear and a great axe, or a hatchet and a great axe, and they'll still have a shield on their back, and that is throwing them into a weight class that they may not want to be in, right? Just be aware of that. Just, no. I've seen a few people around the world not aware. However, let's hop over to attributes. So another thing, everybody's in beta right now. Everybody's trying to figure out what kind of build they want, what they like, testing out the game. When you're doing that, when you're trying to find a weapon pair that works together, it's one thing to find the right abilities and find the right build for each one and everything, to complement each other. But also, something to be aware of is the attributes that are like primary to each weapon, right? And you can see that here on the attributes. They've actually added this nice graphic in coming into beta. You can even mouse over the question mark here, and it'll tell you, in words, primary attribute for Warhammer, great axe, sword, hatchet. Secondary for the spear. What that means, though, it's like, well, okay, cool. What does it mean? Well, each weapon scales off of the stats that you have, the 114, at different percentages and in different ways. That's awesome. The world ended. We'll kind of say it real quick so I can still use the graphic. But if I were to use an intellect weapon, but I had strength gear on, I'm getting absolutely no benefit from that. So I've seen some people that will use like a musket, but then a great axe. Those two aren't sharing great, they're not sharing stats at all. So when you try to kind of complement the two and have like half strength, half dex, right? You're kind of gimping both weapons from their full potential, and so you're only like half of like the strength. I don't want to say half, but you're reduced strength in both weapons, rather than like having, for my instance, I have hatchet and great axe, both primary strength, and so they're getting the most benefit that they can because I just pour straightly into strength. Now somebody might want to run, let's say, a rapier, right? And or let's just say for the argument's sake, we'll use the paladin build, right? That is the warhammer and the life staff. And what you do is you stack full focus, but then you put a gem into your warhammer that makes that scale off of focus. Basically, it makes the main stat focus for that warhammer. So the only gems that exist in the game are one focus called amber, and then quite a few different ones that affect intellect. So if you wanted to run a like a fire staff with, let's just say a spear, so that you could get some like benefit, some CC benefit, right, when in melee, you could put one of these intellect gems in there, and now all of a sudden your spear is going to scale off of intellect. You pour everything in intellect. Now your fire staff and your spear both benefit from it. So those are just things to be aware of. I fully support people trying everything they want, trying all these goofy builds and seeing what works and what, don't cookie cutter. Don't be like, wow, I experiment. This is beta. Have fun. Find what you like, right? But there are some, kind of loose rules to it, and some little guidelines to follow that will help you have a more successful build, I guess, is the best way to put it. But yeah, that's really all I had for today. Sorry for the odd pop up there, kind of goofy. But yeah, if y'all have any questions, comments, go ahead and put them in the chat below, or in the comments. I love responding to those. Most of these things that we talked about today, I got from the comment sections on previous videos, so it's always great, always nice. And if you like the video, be sure to thumbs it up. If you're looking for more content, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.